I would do them standing up. But I'm a bit shaky on my legs at the moment. I've got a few health problems, so I'm gonna see how we go sitting down. And this is the latest performance poem I've written. I only performed it a couple of months ago, so some of you have heard this. And we're all supposed to talk about mental health these days. That's the new in thing, to get out there, don't hold it in. Let everybody know how you're feeling mentally. It's partly connected, obviously, to the whole issue of the coronavirus and people feeling trapped in their homes. I was a bit mad anyway, long before the COVID virus. And so this is, and I would say that I don't talk about my mental health. I use poetry as a channel to get it out there. And then people can take it or leave it. And they can believe it or not believe it. So this is called, Now Calm Down, Mr. Urwin. Everything's going to turn out fine. You'll just feel a little prick. There's a tension in my brain wires that is shaking, that is contained excitement, that is love, that is passion, that is anger, that is fear, that is shame, which cracks open with shouts of dog, or cabbage, or cheese grater, but in solitude only, or hopefully so, because what will happen in public places is that Chopin, Dostoevsky, aghastness will stalk the streets to cries of Emily Bronte, Emily Dickinson, you know I loved you both more than you were ever loved before, why can't you love me back? And I will be held down for disturbing the peace with shouts of Walt Whitman, you're a naughty boy to let me walk naked with you through the rainstorm. And I will be committed to the asylum for sick poets with shouts of John Coltrane, Keith Jarrett, Vincent van Gogh, lend me your earrings. And it will be night and the stars will sigh as I sing Antonio Machado, I love you for your sadness. You can be in my sad dreams if I can be in yours. And I will scrawl haiku on the walls of the hospital for the nurses to learn by heart and recite back to the other sick poets. Gorky, Chekhov, Miles Davis, Debussy, how are you talking to me from your rotten bones? The wind howls like a torture chamber, and owls hoot their psalms between the trees as oceans burn and forests freeze, and I holler, John Lennon, I imagined everything you told me to, and it's still a fucking mess. I'm still dreaming. What happens next? What does happen next? I'll tell you what happens next. Viking, 40s, Cromarty, fourth time, Dogger. Sometimes I get so depressed by all those squally showers. North at Sierra, South at Sierra. I'm becoming so cyclonic. Rockall, Malin, Hebrides, Hercules. The world is full of Gales Force 8. What am I to do with all this damn poetry? Picasso, stop messing with my face. I want to dance like a dervish. Spin, 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 O Rumi. Why can I not believe in your God of love? O Makayam, where are all the saints and sages? I want to discuss nail files, avocados, musical notation, the meaning of arthritis. But all I see are businessmen stuffing their faces with popcorn and hot dogs. Never mind the quality of the work, just count the contracts. A donation to the party will oil those wheels of commerce. I'm trembling, Count Tolstoy. What you going to do about it? Dickens, if I'm to be committed, you must be committed. Sylvia, you were no more crazy than I am. You just wrote better poetry. I'm screaming inside for the rainforests and the glaciers, for the penguins and the fishes and the bees, but Mary Shelley, you've done nothing to help. Why do you treat me like some kind of monster? Today I killed a blackbird with my car. I almost cried at the soft explosion of down and feathers. A sadness dragged at my chains all day. St. Francis, what must I do to make amends? Rimbaud, it's no joke. Don't make me go viral with this. My queen is not amused. Meanwhile, Bob Dylan and Leonard Cohen are crooning in the captain's watchtower. But it's too late now, boys. We're all doomed. And I'm shaking. I told you that already. But is it love? Is it passion? Is it anger? Is it fear? Is it shame? Bankers want their moral bonus as more statues topple. Ministers do no dirty deals. They all care so much. And archbishops pray to their gods that no one discovers the truth. As tower blocks of people burn, burn, burn. As refugees drown, drown, drown. As black men and black women are stopped and shot, shot, shot. In the back, In the fucking back! And even in their beds. Maya Angelou, Langston Hughes, Dr. King, what would you say now? For how long must your dream be deferred? And I'm shaking, Dr. Freud, I'm fucking shaking. There's a tension in my brain wires, and the wires are barbed and electric. But is it love? Is it passion? Is it anger? Is it fear? Is it shame? I cannot bear to hear the news anymore. I'm face down in the fallen leaves. I'm crying. I'm not afraid to be alone. I'm not afraid of silence. Am I losing my sanity, Mr. Hitchcock? What do you think? Nurse! Nurse! He's not answering my questions! Now calm down, Mr. Urwin. Everything's going to turn out fine. You'll just feel a little prick. So this next one's a bit, well, I was going to say the next one's a bit more light-hearted, but I'm not sure about that. If you've ever been in love and the person you love no longer loves you, that can be quite depressing and difficult to live with, can't it? But that's exactly what's happening in this poem. And there's about 20 shops named in this poem, and it's quite possible that they don't all even exist anymore because of the economic situation after the COVID crisis and lockdown. Businesses have been going out of business. I should be better with words than that, shouldn't I? As a poet. So this is about the girl who no longer loves me, but you can change the genders around if you want to. And it goes like this. It's called Oxford Street Blues. Oh dear, how does it start? I'm following her down Oxford Street, dodging shoppers and bags, keeping in view her gorgeous ass, all the way past Waterstones, Calzedonia, New Look, Top Man, Gap. She's moving so fast, but the swing of her hair is always there if I lose the swing of her hips. Don't leave me, I plead, past Mango, Zara, Nike Town, the Body Shop, Tie Rack. I told you I love you, Miranda. I meant every word from the bottom of my belly. We are made for each other. You are more sexy than Meryl Streep and Penelope Cruz. If I had to choose, it would be you every time. I'm shouting it out now, past Moss Bros, John Lewis, Swatch, House of Fraser, next. She doesn't look back once. Tell me you'll always love me, Miranda. I'm sorry, 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 I shout. When I sent you that text to say that your breasts are like two peaches ripening in the Sicilian sunshine, it was a compliment. Surely you can see that. I didn't mean to tease you, Miranda. I'm down on my knees, Miranda. If it please you, Miranda, I'll kiss your feet right here on the street. People are staring, some are smiling, but my goddess, she struts on by, head held high, past Debenhams, H&M, Dorothy Perkins, French Connection. Damn her haughtiness! Don't be a heartless bitch, Miranda. Your beautiful thighs make me twitch, Miranda. Your exquisite body makes me itch when you're not wearing a stitch, Miranda. Surely at any moment she will succumb to the seduction of shopping. Surely she'll be popping into Intimissimi for a new pair of knickers, and I can reason with her amongst the lacy lingerie. Please give me one more chance, Miranda. Where's your sense of romance, Miranda? Let's take ourselves off to France, Miranda. I just love those sexy new pants, Miranda. Miranda, when I said that your thighs were like ivory, I didn't know you'd just signed a petition against the illegal ivory trade, or that you'd only think of dyeing elephants. I was trying, Miranda, to be poetic. You just don't get it. She's unflinching in her resentment. Her steel heart is beating in a titanium cage, past Adidas, River Island, M&S, Urban Outfitters. And then suddenly she's gone, lost from my life forever in the morass and mayhem of shoppers and sightseers, and I fall to my knees, sobbing out my broken heart on the cold, cold, cold pavement outside Primark. Jeff and Val, thank you very much for that. This next one actually has the same theme, but it's presented in a different way. So this is for all you cowboys and cowgirls out there. who may have lost the love of your life. It's called The Urban Cowboy's Love, Lone Lament. I forgot to bring my hat along, so I'm going to have to do it without the old hat this time. Oh, I'm being offered a hat, but it's not a cowboy hat. I'm not sure it's a good idea, but you never know. It's a possibility. Thank you so much, Mr. Linden. Look like a cowboy? Of course I don't. Never mind. I'm going to try and sound like a little like a cowboy. All I got to do now is remember how the fucking poem goes. Oh, the urban cowboy's love lone lament. You know, I don't know if I can remember how the poem. It was the 15th day of August when my woman left this town with a man who had a wallet full of cash and a face that was as brown as a barroom stool, with no brain between his ears. I said, Mary Lou, do you know what you do? This all gonna end in tears. She said, Cowboy Dave, it's time to wave goodbye. I had enough of your mean old ways. I'm a heading out west where the men are the best. I don't care what anyone says. Well, she didn't exactly say it. She sent me a text, and I was perplexed. I don't mind telling you. I loved that woman with all of my heart, my sweet gal, Mary Lou. I said, Barman, pour me a whiskey, and I'll take that on the rocks. When a man loses his favorite gal, it comes as a kind of a shock. It was kind of weird the way she disappeared with just that message on my mobile phone. I thought she loved me, but she loved another man. Now it's me and my whiskey all alone. I said, Barman, pour me another stiff one and leave the bottle on the bar. I figure I got a little thinking to do. Might even take out my guitar. Now I searched for her on Facebook and Google and Twitter too, but all to no avail. She'd cut me out and I felt like a fool, like my heart was wrapped round a nail. Now the only thing that kept me sane was the monthly country and western club, dressing up in my Stetson and chaps down the Railway Tavern pub. Now I felt destroyed and hurt when she left Croydon and headed off down AM4. But I'm a-heading for Bristol with my pony and pistol. Can't stand her without her anymore. I'll hunt her down by the docks and all around the city blocks. I know she's in that town somewhere. With just me and my pony, it's ever so lonely. Mary Lou, you stripped my heart bare. Well, I'd like to thank you all for coming along to this little hoedown tonight. Well, there's a few people I really do need to thank. And let's start with, first of all, because it's about my book, Plain Song from the Backstreets of Silence. There's a man called Dave Lewis who did all the work on preparing it for printing and designed the front cover with some input from me. And if anybody, I mean, I don't think I'm a good enough poet to kind of present myself to a proper publishing house. So basically, my book is self-published. Field Maple Press is the name of my own press, so to speak. Many more volumes to come, of course. It's never going to rival Faber, is it? But never mind. So I'd like to thank Dave Lewis for all the work he put in. And if anybody else, is thinking of publishing a book of poems and is going to go the self-publishing route, I would highly recommend Dave Lewis. He's got a company called publishandprint.co.uk, and he was brilliant. I was so particular about how the book needed to look, and the order of the poems, and whether one started on the left-hand page or the right-hand page, etc., etc. And he never lost patience with me once. Swore a lot, I think, in his private room. But, I'd like to thank Dominic Williams, who's done all the techie stuff for me tonight and organising a live stream. It wouldn't be going out to so many people without Dom's efforts, and Dom and Mel generally as part of Write for Word, who organise so much live poetry in this very bar now, from now on. And, you know, it's great to be able to come out once a fortnight now. It used to be once a month, and read poetry, because, you know, you've got to get it out there. And it's the people who put the time in organising it that need to be thanked. I'd like to thank Kuru for allowing me to do this, and Mike for allowing me to do this poetry reading here. And, well, may there be many more, possibly. Steve, I think Steve Trahan, where are you, Steve? Oh, yeah, there you are, yes, taking some pictures. Yeah, thank you very much, Steve, and generally being very supportive. You know, when you're writing and performing stuff, well, I feel anyway, it's important to have support. You don't want to be a lone voice and feeling that you're just trying to get it out there, but nobody's really taking any notice. And it's when people come up. I mean, to be honest, I was a totally unconfident poet. I wrote poetry. I've been writing poetry since I was about 14, and more seriously since I was 17. And I'm only 25 now, I know, but but I had no confidence until I really well, I did read in pubs in the 80s a few times, but it was when I came to the Poems and Pints at the Queen's. It was run by Dom and Anthony Jones at the time, that I got more confidence. Both because I'd read my stuff and people would come up to me afterwards and say, "Oh, Dave, that was brilliant. When did you write that?" And then somebody came up to me and said, "Oh, you're published," you know. That gave me more confidence. And it's what I'm trying to say is it's the people who come up to you and say, "Yeah, I really enjoyed that," that make a huge difference. And so, and Steve is one of those people. So, yeah, thanks, Steve. I'd like to thank the audience, obviously, everybody who's turned out tonight. Really appreciate it, every single one of you turning up. It's, you know, you don't want to be sat behind a microphone, in my case, or standing behind a microphone and have two people in the audience, you know, like Dylan Thomas used to have. Thank you very much. Yeah, great. Yeah, I'm flattered. I really am. And finally, I just need to say the obvious, very biggest thanks to Jackie, my partner, who's done all the publicity, just bashing away at it. It's something I could not possibly do. And she's been massively supportive for me. Couldn't have done it without her. So thank you very much, Jackie. What more can I say? I think I've probably used up my time now. If anybody wants to contradict me, I'll read another poem. But is that it? Everybody happy with that? You feel like you've had your money's worth, as it were. It was bloody free, so it ought to have. You ought to have had your money's worth. It didn't cost you anything, did it? Apart from a drink. So I'm going to love you and leave you, and thank you for anybody who's tuned in on YouTube from other parts of the world. And I'm told that this will remain on YouTube. So if you didn't catch it, you can catch it another time. I'm going to catch it myself and pull myself to pieces for all the mistakes and hesitations and all the rest of it. And I think I might give this cowboy hat back to Mark Linden. Thank you kindly, sir.